welcome back to Book Talk with Meg. My name is Megan for those of you who don't know. Hi, welcome, hope you stick around. If you decide to, do not forget to click the subscribe button down below. It'll notify you when I upload new videos. Today I am here with another Book Review Tuesday where I basically rate a book either that has a lot of hype, a book that is underhyped, or just a book that I have read and feel like you guys should know about. So without further ado, let's hop on in. The book I want to review for you guys today is Geekerella by Ashley Poston. This is a young adult contemporary and it follows the premise of Cinderella but in a fandom retelling. This book is 317 pages long and I rated this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now, to begin explaining the premise a bit, I feel like I should mention that this book is a dual perspective book which follows two main characters, Elle and Darian. It goes into one chapter is Elle, one chapter is Darian, all the way throughout the book. I do feel that this has helped the book and the plot evolve, and I think it helped this book gain some points. In regards to the writing, I feel like the writing was simple enough, but very, very useful in a sense that it made you love the characters and connect with the characters, but at the same time it was just very simple writing. There's no lyrical writing, nothing is overly described, and it just is kind of what it is. I think that the writing wasn't the most strong point of the book, however I still really enjoyed it, but like, if you guys are looking for a lyrical book or something that will blow your mind, this definitely is not it. If you guys have seen my reading vlogs, you would know that I struggled with the first bit of this book, like the first 100 pages. I wasn't a huge fan of. But as the book progressed, I started to love the characters even more, and by the end of the book, I was like, yes, I am loving this. Basically, as I mentioned in the introduction of this video, this is a Cinderella retelling with a modern world twist of fandom. And I think that this story is very close to the depiction of like the actual Cinderella fairy tale in a sense that it has our main character Elle and her two stepsisters who live with kind of like an evil mother, and her mother kind of tries to control everything in Elle's life, and Elle is in a position where she is not very powerful. And then we have Darian, who is going to be the actor of Starfield, which is kind of like a Star Trek kind of thing, and basically he is kind of like the prince in the story, but now in this story it's actually an actor and he plays the role of this very important person in this show slash, I guess it's a show, a movie-ish. So basically we follow these two and they represent the main characters. I think the story overall, like how it follows, was very well done, and I think it might be why I struggled with this book, because what I struggled with most is the character of Elle in the beginning. Honestly, it's rare that I can't stand a main character, but it was kind of the case with Elle at first, because although I know her situation sucks, her father passed away, she was kind of like a gigantic pity party by herself, and it kind of looked like she wasn't trying to help herself at all. So that kind of bugged me at first, and it is really what kept me from loving the story. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil this book, as it is a spoil-free review. But I think my main concern with this was the main character of Elle. I did grow to love her because her personality did come to a change in the sense that she kind of grew during this book, which I really applaud the writer to be able to do that in such a small amount of pages, but her growth was significant. She kind of took the reins on her own life and kind of went at it, which I really enjoyed, because if the character would have stayed like that the entire time, I probably would have DNF'd the book, because I couldn't take it. Like, all I wanted to do was read Darian's perspective, which I loved Darian from the first page to the last page. So obviously our main character Elle kind of starts with a hatred toward the character, but you kind of understand the character's perspective because you do get to read from his perspective, which was fantastic choice from the author. I think that by being able to see Darian's perspective, we kind of get to learn what it's like to be under pressure and to have people kind of tear you down all the time. I think that was a very well done part of this book, and I also enjoy his perspective on fandom, because this book is about fandom, and a lot of books explore what fandom is and what fandom means to people, and I think that this book has a lot of important points. Obviously, Darian is kind of casted for his looks, like his abs are insured, that kind of thing. He's kind of the guy where he looks good and people like him for that, but a lot of people who are very true fans to this Starfield world kind of question the casting and bring a lot of negative attention to Darian, and he was a fan all his life, but a lot of people don't know that, and his manager doesn't want him to like actually show that he's a huge fan of this world, and so it's him trying to struggle with his fandom identity and what it means to him and the struggles it has brought to his life, while also trying to keep up this image of himself with the insured abs and being cool and having everything under control, even though that kid is like 18 years old. So I really enjoyed Darian's character. I feel like a lot more depth was brought to his character than Elle's, which, I mean, it always happens, I feel, in a dual perspective book, but in this book I feel like there was a big difference because Darian was very well shaped out from the first part of this book, and Elle kind of lacked and came second in a lot of things, in my opinion. I feel like she was more of a whiny character, she wasn't as strong, she wasn't as fleshed out, and that is a little bit the author's point because Elle is struggling with her life, but I feel like it was to a point where it's a little too much, in my opinion. So I do feel like there should have been work on that, and that is kind of why I knocked the 0.5 star, because the ending was fabulous. I loved seeing the convention because our main characters go to a convention here, and I also loved Elle's best friend who works at the Magic Pumpkin and how she decides to kind of like take Elle and try to help her out because obviously Elle needs some help. I loved the little tweaks in the Cinderella story because obviously this is Elle's carriage and just the modern twist on it and how they use the like, I don't know your identity at the first part of the book and all of that stuff. I feel like it was very well done. Obviously I can't tell you guys more because this is a spoiler-free review, but if you guys were considering reading this, I do highly suggest it. Keep in mind that is a very close retelling to Cinderella but with modern elements, so if you guys weren't a fan of the first Cinderella story, you probably won't like this because the format is very similar. It does go by very quick. I read this book very quickly. A lot of parts made me laugh. There were some beautiful quotes in there as well. Overall, very well done book. I just think that the characters in here could have been worked on a little bit more, especially Elle, but it's really the biggest flaw I see in the book because otherwise I did have a really fun time. I enjoyed myself, and at the end I was like, yes! And there is a companion book to this that comes out next April, which I for sure pre-ordered. I'm very excited. So this book wanted to make me read more in this world and of these characters. I just feel like Elle was the problem for the first 100 pages, but aside from that, I really enjoyed it. So I do recommend this book, especially if you guys like contemporary, cute romances, or fairy tale retellings with a little bit of a twist. I feel like this has a wide audience, and you can be a young teen and really enjoy this, and you can be like me in more of my early 20s and still be enjoying this. So this does have a wide range of potential readers. So that's it for my video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like this video, and if you have read this and want to talk with me, feel free to. I know some of you guys started discussing What If It's Us, which was my last book review with me, and I really enjoyed talking with you guys about it. So again, feel free, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!